Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into the absolute roller coaster story of Notion. We're going to trace its cinematic, near-death experience and its wildly triumphant rise. It's the story of an app that went from a beautiful vision straight off a cliff into catastrophic collapse before somehow scaling to unprecedented heights. It's a tale of stark contrasts, from cold, empty tech offices to warm creative spaces, and it holds a massive lesson on building something that actually matters. Let's get right into it.
Picture this, a dimly lit room, just a single desk lamp glowing and the harsh blue light of a laptop screen casting heavy shadows. A solo developer sits there, totally alone, watching their dream literally collapse. The energy, completely gone. So what do you do when the startup you just burned through your seed funding to build starts glitching uncontrollably? When your once bustling office completely empties out and you hit absolute rock bottom? How do you even come back from a dead stop?
Section 1. Origins and Early Struggles.
The original idea for this tool was just an incredibly ambitious, soft gradient dream. Back then, the concept of a true all-in-one workspace was completely unheard of. The grand vision was total unification. Imagine taking all your scattered documents, those messy, endless spreadsheets, disconnected calendars, and random chat bubbles, and smoothly absorbing them all into one unified, glowing block where everything just worked perfectly together. It was such a beautiful, minimalist, and deeply appealing concept for anyone who was just drowning in digital clutter. But as you can probably guess, that pristine, minimalist vision quickly collided with a pretty crushing reality. Early users weren't getting that smooth experience at all. Instead, they slammed right into a frustrating wall of glitching interfaces, infinite buggy loading spinners, and flickering screens. Basically, the founders' ambition had completely outpaced their software architecture. It's that classic startup struggle, right? The tech stack is suboptimal, paralyzing tech debt builds up out of nowhere, and the execution just completely breaks down.
Section 2. The breaking point.
Because the software was so incredibly buggy, user momentum just died instantly. And the startup's runway, it dried up right along with it. The founders actually had to let almost everyone go, leaving behind the heavy, melancholic silence of a totally empty office. It's almost like a documentary-style snapshot of a business collapse. Honestly, the silence of an abandoned workspace, where the capital has run completely dry and your team has vanished, is probably the absolute loudest sound a founder can ever hear.
And this trajectory, from massive ambition down to total devastation, was brutally fast. In year 1, the unified vision launches, and excitement is off the charts. But by year 2, mounting tech debt and a seriously glitching interface severely paralyze the users. I mean, people simply cannot do their work on a platform that constantly stalls out. By year 3, the capital is entirely gone, and the office completely empties out.
Section 3. Rebuilding in Kyoto.
Now, when most people face a failing product, their very first instinct is to frantically patch up the bad code. They try to slap a Band-Aid on a sinking ship. But the founders took a totally different, way riskier path here. Step 1, they had to swallow their pride and acknowledge they had built a tangled, overbuilt circuit board of a product. Step 2, they decided to dissolve that old framework entirely. And Step 3, they wiped it completely clean, to a blank grid. They didn't try to fix it, they destroyed it, taking everything all the way back to a minimal, blank canvas. To actually pull off this radical reset, they didn't just need a new codebase. They needed to survive on rapidly dwindling funds. So they did something wild. They traded Silicon Valley for a small apartment in Kyoto, Japan. This drastically cut their burn rate, but more importantly, it isolated them from the intense peer pressure of the whole tech echo chamber. Just picture 2 laptops on a low table, 0 distractions, and the absolute hyper-focus required to carefully rebuild an application from absolute zero.
Section 4. Viral Growth and Scale.
Because they had the sheer courage to wipe the slate clean, their new foundation was rock solid. That single glowing block finally began rapidly multiplying. It branched outward with this incredible energy into dynamic calendars, visual Kanban boards, simple checklists, and deeply layered documents. It spread out just like a growing network. The product was finally doing exactly what it promised on day 1, but this time, the execution was completely flawless.
And this newfound stability sparked a massive, unstoppable wave of viral word of mouth. Because the tool was so visually pleasing and adaptable, users became completely obsessed. The internet was suddenly flooded with upbeat tutorial videos, aesthetic workspace tours, and productivity guides. I mean, the community itself essentially became their marketing department. The aesthetic was bright, the UI was super clean, and people simply couldn't stop talking about it.
Driven by all that incredibly enthusiastic community energy, the metrics just shifted dramatically. Viewer and subscriber counters started ticking upward at absolute lightning speed. The pacing of the company's growth went from this slow, agonizing crawl back in that empty office to an upbeat, rapid-fire sprint. They had officially caught lightning in a bottle.
The growth data tells the ultimate comeback story here. The valuation sits totally flat, agonizingly close to zero, for what feels like forever, representing those dark early struggles and the near-total collapse. But right after that pivotal Kyoto rebuild, it forms this legendary hockey stick growth curve, culminating in massive scale and unbelievable success right at the peak.
Section 5. The courage to start over.
So we're left with an incredibly powerful thought. Sometimes the fix isn't a better version of what you built, it's the courage to start over. Look, it is totally human nature to fiercely protect the things we spent our time building, even when they're hopelessly tangled and broken. But this story proves that sometimes the only real way forward is to dissolve the past and trust yourself enough to face a blank canvas. So I'll leave you with this to consider. What in your own life or your work are you stubbornly trying to patch up when what you truly need is the sheer courage to just start over?